Hi everybody, and welcome back to RNB Homestead. It's been a while, sorry, but I'm here. I have a whole lot of information, and you know, with inflation and pricing and everything that's going on right now, we have a lot to talk about. We have a lot to discuss. So before I get into that, let me give a little backstory, because you know it has been a year since I've recorded a video. So as you can see, I'm in a different surrounding right now, and of course you see the new mic also. I got fancy so that I could be walking around and not have to be right up on the iPad to record clear video. I know there was some question about quality of sound in some of my other videos, so hopefully this will help. And I really appreciate people who are still subscribing, still watching my videos. It's been amazing considering I haven't done a video in over a year. So as you can see, I'm in a different background. I actually went from my apartment to an actual townhouse. So yes, I bought a house. Oddly enough, I'm still in Virginia. So we all know about the water tables out west and all the shenanigans surrounding that. So I took some time off and decided to take a different approach to this homesteading. So not only are we going to have a deck, and I have a patio where I can grow my vegetables. I have blueberry tree, lime tree, lemon, and my kumquat and my grape tree are down on the patio. So we got a whole lot of interesting stuff coming in about. And of course, the goal is still to do a homestead, just in a different area. So right now I'm looking at, if you don't know, the cost of land is just absolutely ridiculous. Absolutely ridiculous. So the question was, since I bought this home, do I buy a property that is already established, or do I buy raw land? That was my first dilemma coming back into this homestead. I decided that I'm going to buy raw land. I am going to build maybe a 450 square tiny house on that property. And while I do different activities, which you'll come along, planting fruit trees, getting water, electricity, doing a paved driveway as far as with gravel, and ultimately building the home that I want, with the garage, with the barns, and then adding the animals. So it's a whole process, shall we say. So what I did was, now that I decided to build on raw land, just like before, I had a process of picking where I was going to look. And you'll just have to turn into the next video to find out where I selected. There were a couple places on the map, because during this year to year and a half while I need to stay in my new home, to avoid any kind of tax penalty, and I actually started a new job, so that's another thing. I'll be working, so I needed to find a place that was off but not too off. And there was a lot of criteria that went into selecting the areas that I want to. And it's a whole criteria on selecting the raw land itself. But the areas that I'm looking into, I'll give you a sneak peek, are Maryland, Virginia, West Virginia, North Carolina, and Delaware. Now we all know the West Coast is off limits because I can't fight with the water table because it is what it is. Not moving back up to north or the Midwest north part where I'm from, Ohio, because I don't do snow. I don't do snow. And the South doesn't appeal to me. I lived in Florida. I lived in North Carolina. I have family in Georgia. The South is just not for me. And of course, not too far East Coast, because again, you get the hurricanes and it still gets that cold weather. So I figured in that little pocket that I selected, I should be able to find a good medium. So what I did this year to keep on track, Rain's Natural Beauty is still running. April of this year will be 6 years that I've been running my small business. I'm in the process of doing some new shows because, as you know, when the pandemic hit, unfortunately, I lost my store. So I had to redo the model and figure it out. So I also decided to Homesteads of America. They're here in Virginia, but they have on their website, they have a planner for your homestead that you use every year. So I purchased that because, again, this is a process, and I'm thinking I'll have my tiny home on my property hopefully by October and November this year, but a main house probably won't be until that same time in 2024. And what I also did was, because you know I have OCD and I like everything neatly, this calendar is for my grow season. As you know, Virginia, right, I'm in Virginia, is a 7A grow area. So you have our first frost date, our last frost date, when to plant for indoors, when to plant outdoors. Either way, keeping schedule. I know some people are like, oh, Robin, you can use your phone, combine one calendar, but from experience and doing this the year prior, it's just easier to keep everything separate so it's not cluttered, because I don't like clutter. That doesn't work for me. So in the process, I also got my Rain's Natural Beauty calendar, because the ultimate goal is to be sustainable. And so that means that besides working my job, the ultimate goal is to be on the homestead 100% of the time. So I need to have other types of income. And so Rain's Natural Beauty, knock on wood, is going to be that other form of income, as well as some other things, turning that tiny home into an Airbnb once my main house is built. Egg sales, because we know the price of eggs right now, but egg sales, I'm definitely going to have meat birds again. So my plans only were halted because of inflation, job change, location change, but the goal is still to have a self-sufficient lifestyle on a homestead. And my final calendar is basically a personal one. And again, I know some people are like, oh, you can put it on your phone. I like to write it down. I like to have it in more than one place, but I like to write it down. I'm not, no knock, but I'm not a millennial. I'm not 27 anymore. So I like to write things down. It's just, I don't know, just a personal preference. And while I am looking at the different options, because again, once I put that tiny home on there and I start to build my main house, I'm thinking You know, do I want a barn dominium? Do I want a shed to house? All types of houses besides the regular brick and mortar type house. So with that being said, of course, I had to draw up some plans on how to do my homestead. And of course, I followed some of the techniques for the permaculture that people use. But again, it comes down to personal preference, what you can and cannot do, and how many people are going to be on that homestead. So it's a personal preference. So I have all the tools to keep track of everything. And so that means we're off and running. One last little addition that I had was I got chocolate. Chocolate is my Bichon and Poodle. Come here, Chocolate. He has been my new little shadow. Wherever I go, he goes. But what you can expect with this new homestead, we're looking at, the year's just started. So we're looking at buying raw land, building a tiny home, cabin, or shed. Haven't decided yet. The location to be able to buy that land. The growing season has started in Virginia. Actually, it'll start. You can start your seeds indoors for Virginia for the 7A where I'm at. You can probably start it in, I want to say on the 20th of January. And of course, I'll have my videos as to what I'm going to be planting every month or so. And also how to plant. Because, a lot of times you have to be able to be self-sufficient in whatever environment. So until I get that homestead, I still can grow vegetables and fruit here in my new house. No animals though. HOA and of course city and county rules. No chickens, no piggies, nothing like that. And then I'm going to take you guys with me. So if you're ready, make sure you are subscribed. You hit that bell notification so you're notified every time I drop a new video, and tell your friends so we can all take this journey on finally building this homestead. Until next time, see you later.